Try this again. There we go. We're level. Sorry to cut you guys off, but it was a little weird being slanted and tilted. So kicking back off to where we are, I hope you come back and join me. What I'm doing. Stand by, I got to put new batteries in the mic pack. There we go. Can you hear me now? Hopefully the audio is there. Looking over here, check, check, check. Looks like it's coming through. Simon, is it sounding better now? Sorry about that. I did check. I might put in some rechargeables. Obviously they weren't full. So hopefully that's the last. It's always fun when you go live, right? It's been a while since we've gone live in the lighting lab. All right. Thanks so much, Simon. I appreciate it. Well, ask me anything, right? Always be prepared. I'm always testing gear because the last thing I want to worry about when I get on any assignment, weddings, events, wildlife, portraits, is I pre-test all the gear I'm going to use on the day of the event, because I never want the gear to stress me out or the gear to get in the way, if you know what I mean. That just causes a whole nother level of stress and anxiety. I want to be able to engage with the subjects, focus on the moments, and not worry about the gear. Thanks, Simon. Very cool. So yeah, let me grab this box. I got new Bolt batteries from B&H. They're high voltage batteries. Just got them, so I want to unbox this. And you know, you might say, what the heck do we need Bolt batteries for if we've got the EL1s? Let me grab an EL1. And the new batteries for the EL1s are amazing, right? These high capacity batteries. These are the LPELs, so they're extra large, and they go into the EL1 Speedlite. And the EL1 Speedlite has insane recycle time. So the big advantage of using a high voltage battery with this is your recycle time is even that much better, but the internal battery doesn't wear out, right? So we're using the battery within the Speedlite. Same thing with the 600 EXRTs that use AA batteries. It conserves them. So that way I don't have to worry about changing batteries out so often, and it keeps my refresh or recycle rate at top notch. Hey Jay, what's going on? So let's start off with a little foundation here. What I want to do is I want to get into the menu, and one of the features you want to make sure, no matter what flash you're using, Canon or otherwise, is that the battery pack and the batteries within the flash are contributing to each other. So if you could see that, the setting I have isn't just the off-camera battery pack, the high voltage battery pack, but it's both. That way they're the internal battery within the Speedlite itself and the external battery work in conjunction with one another. You're shooting more film these days. Very cool. I don't miss film at all. Not one bit. But if I was going to do film, I'd go back to the wet darkroom. Then I would enjoy it. But to take film and scan it, nah, that's not the ticket, at least for me. But enjoy the renaissance. There's quite a few people getting back into film. Hey, Clay Blackmore, what's going on, my friend? Miss you. It's been a long time since we've been able to connect. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. I'm sure you're all dialed in with your wedding season and golf and everything else. All right, so I got the EL1 all set up as a sender unit, and I have 3 off-camera flashes. So let me walk you through what we're going to do and give you an idea of how these batteries are going to work. So we use a heavy-duty light stand because we're going to have 3 photographers, so I'm testing it, and we're going to run 2 batteries, 2 flashes off of 1 battery. The EL1 and our second photographer is going to use some 600s. I have the EL1s, right? And so once we put these lights in position for both the ceremony and the reception, we don't have to worry about batteries crapping out on us. Hey, Bruce, Uncle Bruce, life is good. Dawn and I are doing well. Hope you are doing well. In fact, I'm going to be in Arizona in about 10 days. We got a gig at the JW Marriott in Phoenix. So looking forward to that. Nice big gala. So I'm turning the heads so that you could see what's what with our groups. Bob Ray, it's been a while, my friend. We need to take another trip to Italy. All right. So I'm just turning the heads so you can see what we've got. Now, when we get to the venue and we set up the triangle of light, we're going to use mag spheres on here. Oh, I'll be coming into some great weather. Oh, looking forward to that. Actually, we had a gorgeous day here in Chicago. It was 60 degrees and sunny. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to test these lights first. So let me turn the camera back around, and then we're going to jump into the unboxing and show you the power of having these high voltage batteries. So let's put this back on and get you guys set up to see the speed lights here. So, you always have to scan the room, check the proper strength. So what I do, let me pull up scan in here, is this on the EL1. You could get to the scan, and then you hit scan. And I do this in every environment that I'm photographing in. And it's going to suggest to me how much radio frequency interference there is and what is the strongest channel. I find this to be the best practice versus using auto. Because if you're in a high traffic Wi-Fi area, in auto, it's like 2 ships passing in the night trying to connect. So channel 15 is usually always strong. So we got quite a few strong channels here. So I already have them all set up in channel 15. You can see we have a green indicator light. That means we have successful communication. So if I hit the test fire button, the lights are going to fire in B, C, D. So here we go. We test fire. And I think you guys could see the flashes popping. Good, right? So we could put them all in manual mode just to test, right? We're going to put them in manual mode, quarter power. And what I want to do, the reason for this is to see how fast they're going to recycle. All right. So I'm getting each group, B, C, and D, into manual. And we're going to get them at a quarter power. There we go. And the on camera, in this case, would be the sender unit. I would work in this arena, meaning manual, 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 TTL. So let's just hit the test fire and bang them off. Boom, 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 boom. So you can see the EL1's going, but the 600s are dropping off. That's because they don't have that recycle rate that an EL1 has. And when you're banging on your lights like that, what I found is you start getting some dark frames or underexposing. The EL1s do great. And if we're mixing 600 and EL1s and we want to have them very close in recycle time, I've found that this high voltage battery pack from Bolt at B&H is the ticket. I've used an older version of this when myself and Stephen Eastwood did the Need Light Speed Light tour, and they were killer. I had them in 2014, and I've used them so much that I wore out the battery, and I ordered some new ones from B&H. So let's get to that. unbox them, open them up, and see the differences between the old ones and the new ones. So the old bolts I've been using, like I said, since 2014, using them pretty hard, and they were workhorses. They were doing great. And I started to notice a little fall off in performance. In fact, the bolt battery itself was starting to wear out. And then I looked on the specs at B&H, and I noticed that they've upped. So this is a 4,500 milliamp battery. And I've noticed that they've really increased the amount of milliamps in the output. So by having more milliamps, we get, of course, better performance, better recycle time. So here we go. Let's come over. See the unboxing of the goodies. Yes, sir. So again, right tool for the right job. And for me, I no longer want to worry about recycle time. I want to stay in the moment. I want to focus on capturing the best possible moment at the peak, and then we don't have to worry about recycle time. Where's the scissors here? Maybe I can get this open. There we go. And we'll take out the battery. I've already got Canon cables, and these bolt batteries work with Canon, Nikon. You just need to get the appropriate battery for your device. So here we go. Now it's got dual ports on it, so that we could either run 2 into 1 speed light or power 2 speed lights simultaneously. Matt, any comparisons with the Godox and the Bolt? They're manufactured by the same outfit. Bolt, Godox, who's ever making them, the OEM, is then rebranding them for Godox, for Bolt, and a couple other companies. But what's new is the new battery is 5,800 milliamps. So it's another 1,000 milliamps. So we're going to get improved performance out of it. Also, we have a battery indicator on here now, which we didn't have before. So we know exactly where it's at. And we also have USB. So if we need to power a device, charge a phone, anything like that, charge up a camera battery, we could do that with the USB port. So excellent, excellent. And like I said, we have 2 ports. And we're going to be running multiple speed lights. I have run the 2 into 1 cable with 600s in the past, and that greatly helped. But they still didn't have the performance that the EL1s have. So I'm hoping this new battery is going to be that kind of equalizer to give a more improved recycle time for the 600s. So if I want more than, roughly 60 watt seconds, 50 watt seconds of light from the EL1 and the 600s, we'll gang 2 of them up together. So now I'm going to run these 2 cables into the EL1 and the 600, and we're going to see if that makes a difference. So, pardon me while I shift you guys around. Hey Annette, what's happening? Hope all is well with you and you're doing good. It's a new beginning, a new year. All right. So let's get the Bolt battery, power this puppy up. You can see it's full. Both ports are live and active. I have the Bolt battery bracket on here. And as I said, these are the Canon high voltage. Now you wouldn't want to use these in any kind of moisture situation because you will fry the battery, you will fry the flash. So we're going to connect it to the EL1. Now the old Bolt batteries and with the EL1s, honestly, I photographed all day and never had to change the battery. And that's the goal for having these high voltage batteries. So let's put those on. So now we have in group C, the Bolt batteries. And let's do that same test fire to see if we get an improvement. They're all at manual quarter power. Oh my God, look at that. Yes, yes. So the 600s are still a little lagging. That's to be expected because the EL1 is designed to continuously fire. It has a bigger flash tube. It has a built-in cooling fan. I mean, this is just designed to shoot away. These are by far the best speed light I've ever used. And if you're using the new mirrorless cameras, any of them, the TTL works with face and eye detection. It comes that way, meaning the default in the flash settings is that TTL is linked to face eye detection. So here I am in a black shirt, and normally with TTL, if I was in a dark environment, black shirt, and we hit TTL and we take a frame, chances are it could be way overexposed. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, or inconsistencies. By linking the pre-flash, it works with the 600s and the EL1s, with the new cameras, the R5s, the R6s, the Rs, the R3s, and you have face eye detection active and tracking, it biases. It's like using flash exposure lock off the face. So now it's going to give that pre-flash, it's going to light up and get the determination of the proper exposure for my flesh tone while still accommodating the dark tones. But what I found all last season is I had greater consistency from frame to frame to frame with TTL and flash exposure. All right, so let's come back over here, see if we got any questions. Hey buddy, what's going on? Let's flip this around, and I'm just gonna scroll through. Bruce, hey Bruce, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Matt, thanks for popping in there. Virgil, what's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Bob Ray, Larry, love the EL1. Yes, Larry and I are going to be banging on those EL1s this weekend. So let's get the other bolts out. Larry is the one who actually enlightened me to the new bolts, because I had my old bolts, and Larry has the newer bolts because he bought them because he saw the performance I was getting out of the old ones. And I noticed on his batteries the big difference in the milliamp output. And of course, more milliamps means the battery's going to last longer and have improved recycle time. So it's going to be crazy. We won't miss any moments. All right, so let's break out a camera here. I was actually set up checking on an eagle's nest. You know, this is the EF 600 version 3. I won't be taking this to the wedding, but I will be using the R3s. So the R3s are going to become my primary camera this wedding season, because I like the built-in battery grip. I like the solid nature and feel. To me, it feels like a 1 series. I'm just getting the 24 to 105 here, and then I'm going to test out some of these lights and see how we could do it. The low light performance in both the file, I don't need for weddings the 50 megabyte file that I get with the R5. So everything I've done so far with the R3 is my go-to choice. It's actually lighter and feels better in your hand than an R5. It's a few ounces lighter. The electronic viewfinder, everything about it is just more robust and improved. So I can't complain at all. So I'm going to take off the little protective shoe here, pop the EL1 on, and we're going to put those other speed lights in TTL just to check. And then I'm going to turn it around and we will see what's happening here. So I'm just going to focus on you. Take a frame. Very cool. And what's great is it works in electronic shutter. So that was single frame. So we're going to put this in high speed plus. So an electronic shutter high speed plus, I think this is 30 frames per second. So here we go, 30 frames per second with the EL1, and all right. Oh, mine high speed plus. Let's get this again. Good, put it in people, not animals. All right. There you go. Wow, look at that. All right, so let's swing it around so you could see. Remember, the B group, that's the center light. let me get that so you can see it, has the bolt. So that would be this is the C group, sorry. B and D do not have a bolt on it. So let's just see what happens. We're going to fire them. Nice, nice. So nice improvement. All right, so yeah, everything is going great. We're going to have excellent recycle time. Not going to worry about any of the higher ISOs. And also remember, when you have a smaller file size for weddings and events, and if we need to go above 1600 ISO, not that the R5 couldn't handle it, but the larger the file, the more noise you have. Signal to noise ratio with the pixels and all that. With the R3 being 24 megapixels and the stacked backlit image sensor, I was shooting some wildlife, photographing wildlife, what was it, 25,000 ISO. Now we won't need to go that high with the EL1s. We'll probably maybe do 3200, but it's a much cleaner look than taking the R5 to 3200. So let me come over here, see if I can take any questions in there, see what's what. Marlon, what's going on? Hey, Troy Woods. I'm sure you guys, you got a lot of weddings booked up. I know you've been doing a lot of corporate work and portraits and photographing your daughter. Yeah, Nikon's kind of fallen behind, Troy. You know, Nikon used to be the speedlight leader kind of way back when. And at some point, they kind of fell asleep and gave up on the speedlights, especially with the wireless. And, you know, they're limited with, I forget their latest SB900 maybe, something like that. But you can only have one sender unit. Otherwise, you have to turn off, because we do work with a couple of Nikon shooters. And they've actually gone to the Profotos or to Godox or Westcott or something like that as an alternative. So they're having more success that way. So I'm pretty well prepared. The next thing I'll do on another day is I'm going to practice my portrait lighting setting for our formals. We've got about a 2-hour window of formals that we need to do on Saturday. So we'll be all set and ready to go for that. I'll probably be using the Profoto B1s and the A1s. So the reason being is the R3. So currently the Westcott does not sync up the FJ80 with the R3 for whatever reason. But the Profoto A1 syncs up perfectly. TTL, manual, it fires in sync, and it talks to the off-camera groups. So I got to go with what works. So for whatever reason, Profoto doesn't need to do a firmware update to work successfully with any of the Rs, R5, R6, R, and now the R3. So I have to use the tool that's going to deliver the best job for me in the situation I have. So like I said, I never, ever, ever want to stress about gear. Is that going to fire? Is this going to be accurate? Because what I do when you're in an event and things are happening, if I'm moving, right, the subjects are moving, then my on-camera flash is in TTL. The off-camera speed lights are 99% of the time in manual mode. So that's kind of the way I roll for consistency. All right, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, ask me anything, drop them in the feed. Hey, Cyril, are we going to team up again this year? Are you still in Florida? What's happening? So, yes. Troy, are you going to the Z9? I've heard lots of great things about the Z9 camera. That's like been their best mirrorless so far. I mean, it's such a performer. It looks outstanding that they can't even keep them in stock. All the batteries are run, the bolts are working. We're going to put a few more bolts on, so let's just do a quick recap. I'm going to flip this back around. We did the unboxing of the new bolts. Got the Canon cables that are going to work with Canon. And I do have to say, I used to use the old Quantum batteries. These kick butt all over the Quantum battery. All right, and then we just connected them up to the EL1 and the 600s. Remember, as I shared, you want to make sure in your custom function settings that you have it set up so that the battery pack and the flash work in combination to one another. It's just far more efficient to do it that way. And I have the 600s set up exactly the same way. So the new battery is awesome. It's a performer. We've got a USB port if we need to charge anything. And then we also have a battery indicator right there. So I'm super stoked about having these batteries because, again, never do I want to go back to the days of waiting for recycle to get the moment. You'd be like, ah, and then you're stuck in the water while waiting for something to recycle, especially during the processional recessional. All right, guys, be well, keep healthy. Spring is right here. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in the lighting lab in the future. I'll probably be diagramming a print later this week, but thanks for popping in and drop any future questions in the feed. Take care, keep healthy.